then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariff. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus, it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those
Proud of
wars
Esau.
were because of
Barakatah
trade.
Yahweh.
And
Barakatah
numerous of the
Yahushai.
trade deals that I
Barakatah
made
Yahweh.
were because of
Barakatah
tariffs.
Yahushai.
Gives you a great
Barakatah
negotiating
Yahweh.
ability.
Barakatah
If that
Yahushai.
ability were taken
Call
away
on
from
Yahweh.
us
Bashim
by a
Yahushai.
liberal
Shimon
court acting
Chakwadash.
on
The
essentially
ones to the
foreign
apostle, others
nations
bishops, great millstone,
asking
tell us the truth.
to get
I'm
help
salutations to
from
the
the United
elect.
States government. When
The
they've
minute
been
died
doing
doing the
this
work
to
out
us
by Shimon
for
Shah, the shell of us
40
first.
years, that's why we have $38
Check this out.
trillion in debt. We won't have it for long.
Listen
if
to
they
this
let
man,
us,
the pride.
if they allow us to
Keep
do
telling you
what
about the
everybody
pride of
knows we
Esau.
should be able to
All right,
do.
Salaki.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden era action that you're now reversing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews. But I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something here, for 150 years, they wanted a ballroom at the White House. We're doing something at the highest level using great architects and all. And, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in D.C. And D.C. is like a different place. And, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place. Washington, D.C. is great. Now, we're going to also beautify it. We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians in. We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. And we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. They've been up 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span.
What the scriptures say, they shall build up and he shall throw down.
It's going to be, you'll be proud of Washington again. Go ahead, please.
So you're proud.
China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret that as a challenge to this? And are you concerned at all about those countries?
No.
Some sort of counterweight?
Not at all. China needs us, and I have a very good relationship with President Xi, as you know. But China needs us much more than we need them. No, I don't see that at all.
See the pride? It's the pride of Esau,
I had
man.
actually a very good meeting with President Putin a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes out of it. If it doesn't, we'll take a different stance.
Scriptures say never trust our enemy.
That the deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles was illegal. Do you have any response?
The words are smoother than oil.
A radical left judge, but very importantly, what did you not tell me in that question or statement that you meant? Pretty much of a statement, I think.
Well, I was asking for your response.
No, you didn't say what the judge said, though. The judge said, but you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said, except the judge said that you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you.
They're about to close up. Damn. But nah, it's like it. I know it's a little dark in here. I'm in my room, but yeah, I was just put that on real quick. Forgive me for the light, but yeah, I'll just put that on real fast because he was. I just did a video on AI, and he mentioned that in there. It was a live stream from the White House, whatever. And they asked him a question about religious freedom. Hold on, Salaki. Let's see if this. Hold on, let's see something.
This group is every one of them. I rated 10. I can't always say.
But he had mentioned something about religious freedom. A woman asked about it, and he said in 2 weeks they're going to
7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long
Salaki.
period
Let's just play real
of time.
fast.
And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama.
Rocket City.
They only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular, so congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job, and Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal.
It's all in vain.
Everybody wanted to know, what are you doing? I also...
Yo, that's crazy. It's a lot here, man. But yeah, anyway, he mentioned something of a woman asked.
She must have been.
She asked, what were they doing for religious
Tommy Tuberville, who's
freedom
a
or
great
something,
coach,
something to that nature, right?
and,
He avoided the
I won't
question
say
because he
anything
said,
about what happened with Alabama
he
football
said
this
that
weekend,
in 2 weeks
but you're not,
they're going to
you're not
announce
used to
something
that.
about this. All right. He said in 2 weeks they're going to announce something about this. So who knows? Will this be the family of the word or whatever? So you just gotta listen to these devils the way they talk, because they talk real crafty. I'm gonna play this a little more, then I'm gonna get up out of here.
Also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. With Mike. Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force.
So see that? Here we go.
We
Space
were
Force.
losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland.
So you got Second Ezra's, the 13th chapter, talking about the war in heaven. Also in Revelation, the 20th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they're preparing for, that war in heaven, man. And you heard him say that they're the best in space. Just the pride of this man. Just the Edomites, man. It's crazy.
I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When the state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means.
Says the dishonest man, the one that comes out the womb spewing lies.
Com will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile
Golden
defense
Dome.
shield, we're going to be.
There's no defense for Babylon.
That the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it.
He said long into the future, that proving that their inward thoughts is that they think that houses will be passed down from generation to generation. But this is their last leg. This is their last rulership, which you're looking at. All right.
So I just want to congratulate. These are really.
It's the last leg of the Roman Empire, and that's Nero right there speaking.
They're great patriots. I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you,
Salaki.
the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well,
I'm gonna look into
during that
Huntsville,
time,
Alabama.
the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say Spacecom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead.
Yeah, and they
That's
said the
most
same
important
shit
domain. Whoever controls
with Neil
the skies
Armstrong.
will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
These dudes is funny, man.
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our warfighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said,
That's the realest shit I heard so far.
we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX.
All in
It's
vain.
the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Pride of Esau.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber,
see that?
the communications,
They
the
pride,
entire
man. They
infrastructure
said
of
you
the
can't
battle
win the battle of
in
the future
21st
except
century
with the
will be in
sky,
space. It
controlling the
was a
skies.
visionary move in the
Who
first
controls the
administration
skies?
for the president to set
How
up
about
Space
she now
Force.
shy?
And I think an equally visionary move to make sure the Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama.
They're
Thank you, sir.
preparing to go to war with the Most High. I mean, with the Most High son, Yahweh Shai, and the heavenly angels, because they know about the chariots and they're scared. The powers are standing in fear. They're trying to act like they're not in fear, but they really are.
The 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security. You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national
Everything is security,
All
because they know
indicators
Yahweh
point
Shai is
back to
coming back.
Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do.
It's freaking God's face.
When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation. And
I'm letting it go a little
Alabama.
more longer. I'm shut it
Thank you.
down.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's pretty much Nero said what he had to say.
Has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground.
See,
What we're doing with moving
so space is the
command
ultimate high ground.
is absolutely critical to our
Job tells you
dominance.
he set his bounds that
And it goes
he
hand in hand
cannot
with what we're trying to do with
pass.
Golden Dome and missile
You know,
defense to
they're
defend
so
against
concerned
anyone
about
who tries to enter that space.
uh,
So
uh,
thank you, Mr. President.
you know, the space. You know, you're not going to
Thank you,
never
Mr.
get out
President.
there
And
because you already jacked up the
national
earth.
defense is a huge issue, and when you
So
look
Lord
at
is not
the
going to
score,
allow you
Alabama was
to
number
jack
one,
up
and
out
for
there,
political
man.
reasons, it was moved out of our state. But Mr. President, thank you.
And they
for
haven't
your
even
priorities in defense and the warfighter and safety
explored
of this
everything
nation.
on the
And
earth
big,
yet.
beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will
You know?
be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Cute son's Golden Dome.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the president held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the president named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs. That's Huntsville, Alabama.
So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing. And you'll see, and there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we
Good
just
job bringing them in.
came out of Venezuela. And
But you know,
coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So,
see this, and that's his reasoning for coming at these countries. You know,
this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Senator Hubbard talked about the cost savings
Yeah.
associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Well,
all right, that's it, man. I'm gonna shut this down. Salakis. Lord's willing, you know, you can watch it. It's up now. Salak. It's a little commercial, John. But you go watch it now. I got it on YouTube.
we had
It's just
four
Nero
different groups
talking
of experts.
talking
They
his
all
talk.
said this was the best location. I also loved it from
Hold
the
on, let me
standpoint,
play a
I
little
know the
bit
people
more.
of Alabama, they are
It's a
great
little bit
people,
more, and I'm
work
gonna shut it down. Probably
There's
like
no games.
20-minute
They're
mark.
very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else. Also, a lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to
But
talk
they in
about
fear. They're scared.
moving to this location, moving to Alabama.
As the scriptures
Huntsville
tell you.
in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted
That's
to
why
do it,
they
and
so
got us
hell
here.
bent on the Space Force.
Something completely different, a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't
Damn.
do that. You know, I
That's
have
heavy.
heard it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him. And we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people know I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes them. I mean, a lot of disadvantages to doing, you know, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. It'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, and you know.
Arming the
I
teachers,
always
you
thought
know.
that would be an alternative, but it just we've
place is
had,
done.
A lot of instances. Other countries have.
All right, with
also,
that,
they have different
I'ma
kinds
say
of
shalom.
problems than we have.
Call
We
Lam
have,
Yahweh, Bashim outside.
there's something
Shema
going on.
Kakwadash, the
Something
waters to the
going on,
apostles,
and
elders, bishops,
it's,
great millstone,
it's
shalom
bad
to the
thing.
elect.
Yes.
The next one, a waffle Bible ball, Kwame Yasharala. Stay strong.
Yeah, I don't want to.
It's about to get ugly. The evil
I
times are
have
coming.
learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a